This is C3. No. Oh, that's an F. I knew it was close. Wow, that's an F. It's in key. But I'll be goddamn. I'll be goddamn. But I'll be goddamn. Satisfied with it. This is a cool lo-fi beat. Let's lo-fi it now. Let's throw some lo-fi effects on it. And yeah, we should be Gucci. No. Oh, that's an F. I knew it was close. Wow, that's an F. It's in key. I'll be goddamn.
The shit's chess, it ain't checkers.
I'll be goddamn. Well, I'll be goddamn.
All right. Some more. It's another day for redemption. You know what I'm saying? Got the screen shared, got it properly shared. We're gonna see if we can get some wins early in the morning before this start of this week. Gonna see how we do. You know what I'm saying? See how we do. I want to talk about something, basically that I've talked about before. It's time for me to repeat myself. I would have to say if it's anybody that I wanted to have probably a debate with, like the people that you probably know, if it's anybody that I wanted to really have a debate with, it would be Tariq Nasheed. And obviously he would call me a tether, right? That's his new lingo. And I'm very well aware of people like this. And what I mean by people like this is basically people that start movements and have people to follow them blindly. And these people, one of their main motives is money and also, power to a certain extent. And it's a very well-known strategy. Okay. Very well-known strategy. And, it's a lot of times it's based off of someone that is extremely just kind of like they're struggling financially, and they need the help of others. So they'll start a movement with very uh, let's just say fragile-minded people, okay, to just follow them blindly, okay, and they may, if it's successful, it's enough fragile-minded, lonely people to basically that is looking for somebody to be their friend, um, be their hero. It's like that comedian from 85 South. I forgot his name, but he was like, he was talking about the different issues with dating, in Atlanta primarily. He said he got chicks that he talked to, and they talk about somebody that they follow, like, on social media. He's like, bitch, you got a whole hero. You 35 years old and you got a hero. It's like that. Like, you got a whole hero, man, that you can't make decisions unless it aligns with your hero that you follow as a grown adult. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people like that, man. I Man, sometimes people think it ain't a good time to be alive. This is an excellent time to be alive. Very, very good time to be alive because, um, basically, it's a lot of people that's just making some very, very wrong moves. Just so I say, they're making some terrible moves in life, and these people absolutely are going to absolutely be destroyed, because that narrative is following the shepherd. One of the things I have to admit, I definitely like um I like, and it kind of goes into what I'm also going to be talking about. Everybody knows I like BGS more. And one of the things is I'm grateful of having a memory. I'm kind of changed my diet, and I basically it's very, very helpful, very essential. I talked about it plenty of times on my channel. But I have no problem, man, giving somebody credit. But a lot of people have a problem with giving people credit. Good morning, Narratives and Dialogues, aka Nino. Uh, Say, why debate with Tariq? I don't think he do that to you. See here. I do believe there are many lonely people that look up to people and have made their gods. Okay, for sure. Um, yeah. So I got the 48 Laws of Power right here. I also have it somewhere in my book collection as well. Um, and it's something along the lines of, basically creating a following. Creating a following. I'm trying to look for it in the 48 Laws of Power. Okay. This is something I read over a decade ago. Okay. This is old. Yeah, got it. So this is what Tariq is using right here. This is his call sign. And you could say it's not just him. This is something that you could even say everybody's talking about Cynthia G, right? Which is basically his compatriot. One of the things you gotta absolutely know, these are those people that did not want to work a job, right? And they wanted to be an entrepreneur at all costs. But what's different between someone like them and somebody else that basically pushes through? They want to be they need a following, as far as some type of army of people to follow them, to give them donations, right? Give them GoFundMe's to buy their book, buy this, buy that. I have yet to do a GoFundMe to ask my subscribers and followers to give me some GoFundMe. Yeah, I've asked for, hey, I got no shame in my game to ask for a Cashapp every now and again. But here's the thing. This is what I didn't do. Control the options, get others to play with the cards you deal. 48 laws of power. Basically create some type of following, have people to follow you. Okay. He's saying we just, he copied. See, he's a copying dude too, right? So check it. So he used to live in a building with a dude that had an apartment. He was a well-known Mac. And in case you don't really know what a Mac is, you might want to, look up Alan Roger Curry, author Alan Roger Curry. He gives a bunch of definitions on a lot of his videos about what a Mac is, what a player is. I mean, what a pimp, what a gigolo, all of that. I mean, you could, obviously look it up in the Urban Dictionary, whatever. I mean, basically, a Mac is the difference between a Mac and a pimp. A Mac is not putting his women out to be basically pimped. He's keeping them for himself. That's very much definitive of the definition of a Mac versus a pimp. So he find this Mac, this older dude that had a whole bunch of chicks, and he talking to him, striking up a conversation while he's eating cookies to survive. And this is his words. And I mean, that's very honorable, surviving on cookies to survive because you broke as hell. I mean, that's honorable. That's a very good strategy to save money to get through. You know what I'm saying? I ain't shitting on a man for that. That's a very good strategy. You do have to sacrifice if you're trying to, make some ends. But what he did, where I don't do and I don't agree with, he plagiarized the dude to the point where it goes beyond plagiarism. He basically copied the dude. He literally copied his. Imagine a dude. This is why people don't say nothing, right? When you talk to them, they don't even say nothing. They just strike up a conversation. They ask you, "Hey, I see all of those chicks you with, and I could tell, man, your game is really pimping, and then what I'm saying, you just you like the young dude, so you give him the game, you give him your little tips and stuff like that on how to do whatever, get women, whatever, and then this dude just he go back to his apartment and he got damn it writing that shit down and shit. You know what I'm saying? Then after about a series of months, let's say a year or two, nigga got a whole book based off of some shit you say. And that's what, that's why I respect people that don't, what I'm saying, don't say nothing. Don't say shit because, what I'm saying, like this right here.
Gangs with the souls, not toes.
You know what I'm saying? So I respect that shit because you got motherfuckers that just gon' take your whole game and then write a book and never mention you. You do not exist. Obviously, they don't want to break you off. They want to come up with it like it's their idea as well. So absolutely, man, I got a problem with people to do shit like that. Alan Roger Curry had a problem with people to do shit like that. Other people have problems with people to do shit like that. You see that on YouTube. People, you know, basically you can kind of tell they listening to you. Um, I mean, it's they're I ain't got a problem if you repeating a whole word, but if you copying a whole goddamn, system or it, all of that is called intellectual property, even if it's macking on bitches. That's intellectual property, you know. I mean, as funny as that might sound or graphic as that might sound, it's still intellectual property. You're stealing someone's fucking intellectual property and then giving them absolutely no credit for it, and then you kind of look like a clown because you don't really know the whole entire being of being a fucking Mac. So you know what I'm saying? Like, so you goddamn look like a clown doing it versus he doing it. He doesn't look like a clown because he embodies what he was, and you take his whole shit, write a book, what I'm saying, and don't get him. The man probably, if he's still alive, probably in a nursing home, goddamn waiting on a nurse to bring him some water, ain't got shit. That's why people talk about old people. That's why old people don't, they look at young people, you know what I'm saying, sideways, like you don't even want to support nobody. You want to, what I'm saying, I don't say nothing to you because you basically are just gonna be a leech. You know what I'm saying? Said, yeah, uh, and many have to graduate at being okay with being alone, like yourself. I agree with what you're saying, though. A lot of situations are not walk-in situations. You got to put out your work and have some sort of experience, whether bad or good, that will teach you awareness and also who you are. So the thing is that basically, yeah, the old niggas be getting stole off on with their information, and the young dudes don't give them no credit. Repeat that a million times so you can understand. Basically a vulture. That's a vulture. Take your shit and goddamn make a book and like you the motherfucker that did that. That's what white people were really good at doing. Going into Africa, taking whole goddamn philosophies, customs, bringing that shit back to Europe. Goddamn it, motherfucking looking like extreme genius philosophers, sociological, scholars and shit, because they were fucking stealing information and intellectual property from another country or continent. Let's say, look at this way. There's only one unique you and show why. Right, exactly. You cannot embody an entire person. That's like what Ella Roger Kerr said. You trying to be like me. Yeah, I mean mode one. I'm saying mode one, but yeah, a lot of people have a problem with mode one because they cannot be like me. They don't understand what I understand. You would never know. You would never understand what somebody else is. That's why they call people artists, because you will never understand the art. I don't care. Like you will never understand it. That's what makes it unique. You know, you will never understand what's going on inside of my head. You got a whole motherfucking billionaire, so Tony Stark's motherfucking like Elon Musk created something called the Neuralink because he wants to try to map intellectual property primarily. That's his major goal of the Neuralink, in order to read a person's mind. You know, you got dudes out here, you know, trying to, I mean, basically, you know, they sucking people's mind, sucking people with their information, not giving them no credit. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta understand, in California, you know, and Cynthia G is literally like, I think she's way like what 100, 200. Like I don't know how far Washington is from California, but you very much know. All you got to know is it's extremely expensive to live in those states. So a nigga gotta really goddamn be creative to survive. And if that involves begging motherfuckers for donations, creating some cult following, it just so happens to be you know, better me than you. So that's one thing you got to realize. You know, I mean, you know, the thing is that thankfully God, my mama was a teacher. My dad, he was very smart. He went to the University of Chicago, spoke multiple languages. You know, very highly well cultured from Ghana. He also like African American culture. You know, he had records of, you know, Sam Cooke, you know, different American artists as well as the artists of his country as well as Africa. I'm very highly cultured in African American culture, history, and you know, very well cultured in being an African. I mean, I say I'm African as fuck. Okay, you know, black as fuck, whatever you want to look at it. And you know, some nigga that was surviving off cookies, you know what I'm saying, trying to fucking pay rent in California, had to create some clique based off another dude in the same state, um, that created ADOS. He created FBA. Meanwhile, black people getting torn out the frame, with the lack of wealth, lack of opportunities, and probably should be investing in Amazon FBA. See, here's the thing. Here's the funny thing, right? This is the tripped out thing, right? Let's say you really was in FBA, right? And he been talking this shit for about 4 years, right? About good 4 years, right? Like let's look up Amazon stock, right? Their their fucking their fucking stock for the last 4 years. See, this how you get, you know what I'm saying? Hoodwink, bamboozle, led astray, run amok. Because if you was investing in, I'm gonna do the 5 year, so that'd have been like 2019. And Amazon, I believe, did a split. They did a split since then, so you'd have made even more money. So if you would have been into Amazon FBA and actually even sold Amazon FBA and then also invested in Amazon FBA, your ass wouldn't be complaining about fucking rent, mortgage prices, you know, I don't have this or that. But you decided to follow a nigga that was surviving off cookies and milk in an apartment in fucking Los Angeles or whatever the fuck, you know, basically stealing the dude fucking whole, you know, intellectual property about macking and writing, going back to his fucking apartment, writing notes and shit. Like, damn, he said this today, blah, 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 blah. And then, you know what I'm saying, write a fucking book and shit, and then create a whole, you know, because, you know, older people don't know shit about the internet. They don't know nothing about how to create nothing off no internet, especially, you know, he did that over like what, 20, 30 years ago, or something like that, 20 years ago. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just take the whole man life, you know, wisdom as much as he possibly can, just a nigga in the elevator just asking you questions and shit. You look up like, why does this nigga keep asking me questions? And then after a while, you befriend them, like, hey, little nigga, what's up? What's up today? It's like, hey, how do you manage 3 bitches today, and then you got another 4 tomorrow? Hey, man, young blood, you got to do this, and this. Then he go back to his apartment. He writing that shit down. Yeah. He said, you got to do this. And then, goddamn it, you know what I'm saying? Next day he asks, well, if bitch A or bitch one, don't like bitch two, what do, brother? Oh, you do this. He go back to his apartment, write it down. Oh, and then after a while, you know what I'm saying, he got a whole goddamn book he could sell, you know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, I mean, it's better than robbing motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, it's better than goddamn it, stick them up, give me all your shit. But you know what I'm saying? Is that still? But see, this is why law is important. That's still stick them up. But I guess if if you're giving it away for free, okay, it is what it is. You giving it away for free. He said if someone trying to figure out your life, the depths of your life, then they got too much time on their hands. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? They got books. They got books and shit. You know what I'm saying? You can read. They got other people that's mentors. It's not wrong. Like, if you give people credit, that's the whole thing with ARC. It's like, okay, you give a motherfucker credit. Okay, I have not read Mac Lessons or whatever, this book. Maybe the man did give the man credit. I don't fucking know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he did. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But that's why Alan Roger Curry was so big on you giving he said credit attribution. You know what I'm saying? So the thing, and also the thing I had a problem with is the nigga creating a whole movement, and this is what this shit is. Even a nigga that's slow can see this shit. He creating a division that's already existing. He's building it wider. Our great grandparents, what I'm saying, basically they shared the struggle with Africa. Okay. Basically black people in Africa had their struggles dealing with the Europeans. Black people in America had their struggle dealing with the American Europeans, and they both shared the same interests and concerns and problems and issues, and they helped each other out. Again, so back in apartheid South Africa, okay, they were banging on them Africans in South Africa. The Europeans, the Dutch Boers, the British, the Dutch, whoever they are, the Afrikaners. I'm African. I'm an African too. They were seasoned white dudes that could survive the bush. They conquested, back in the 1800s. They took some, they opened Britain, under, I think, like Queen Victoria. Even before that, they opened a prisons in Britain, right? They opened a prisons. Some of their worst prisoners, they sent them out to, you gotta feed and house inmates. So they say, okay, we need to conquer. So they unleashed all their prisoners and basically put them on a ship and say, you gonna go to Australia, you gonna go to South Africa, you gonna go to America, you gonna go all over. And that's what these dudes basically, they send some basically super thugs, right? They sent some super thugs to South Africa, and they survived in that bush. You know what I'm saying? They had to, pillage, kill, rape, everything that, these Mars was in, prison for murder, rape, you name it. they sent them out. You know what I'm saying? It worked. You gotta respect what, power, and power is power. What worked. It worked. Now the thing is that these people, they were using the media blockouts and all the stuff that they kind of doing now with Israel, right? They were basically doing the same thing. It was even better because it was no cameras and stuff. So Nelson Mandela was locked up for like what, about 40 years or something like that. So the black people in America, basically they boycotted certain brands like Coca-Cola, Ford, other brands that had business dealings with South Africa. They were vocal, they protested, and they boycotted these companies. And it led to social pressure, political pressure. I forgot I think dude name was de Klerk, the president, the Dutch Boer Afrikaner president of South Africa. They he was under very serious scrutiny and social societal pressure, and he had to basically broker a deal to get Nelson Mandela out of prison. And basically they basically gave him the country, because when you're surrounded, and everybody's looking at you, making a mockery of you, and it's going to mess you up in the social stage. You're not on the planet alone, so while the dust settle, people going to look at you, and your business dealings will be flawed. Your future endeavors will be flawed. We have evidence of your atrocities. You will be held in the public stage, and that's what a lot of people don't understand about certain decisions. But black people, they united and stood up and said, we ain't gonna have that. We're not gonna support these companies. And that's actually the power that a lot of people don't focus on. Boycotting does work, and it works very, very well. From pretty strong evidence of that working. That's actually because a lot of black people have people that also might be quiet or in the shadows, that also will take heed, that are not necessarily black. That's also element at play. So when you have a whole bunch of people and your sales are dropping from your company because you're supporting endeavors of people to be conquested and basically live like second-class citizens and have no say so, and living in an open air prison, that's what black people did then. This was the 1990s. They also fought in the 60s. If you look up the great winds of change, black people basically were united. So when I see some dude, talking about he was a Mac, talking about we should separate and all that. I've heard people say he an agent. I don't know. I mean, he very male. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I have no evidence to say that, but maybe he is, because divide and conquer. I'm about to whip up a game of chess real soon. Divide and conquer does work. That's an old strategy. I see you are screen ready. I'm working on Pookie and Ray Ray Part 2. Also, my last documentary for December called Who Lied to You About Leadership. You'd be a great fit for those. Yeah, man. Just reach out to me. Let me put, I'll put my banner, down here. Just, email me. And what I'm saying? I think I already emailed you. And yeah, man, that's it, man. I ain't, I know life goes on and stuff like that, man. I ain't know no Hollywood shit, man. You know, I ain't on no Hollywood shit. I went, you know, I was in California. When I was in the Navy, I was in San Diego, you know. You know, now I know this nigga big and tall like to fight niggas and shit. Now, you know, I do know how to fight. You know what I'm saying? I know how to fight too. I'm not Tommy Sotomayor. Okay. I'm kind of tall myself, and yeah, you know, I know how to fight. You know, big David and Goliath looking niggas. I didn't have fights with. See, niggas like that, you gotta fucking hit them, and you gotta hit them and move back. You gotta stick and move, basically. You gotta break them down. You gotta stick and move, and then when they rush you, you got. I used to wrestle too, so you know, you rush me, you know, I got you right there, because basically, you know, Charles Faulkner, he know what the move is for that. I'm not gonna say it, you know, but you know, I you know, people ain't gonna have no boxing match, and then you know, people don't really pay attention to you unless you like some rich, you got a big following, and you really rich, and you know what I'm saying, like they got something that they could possibly, you know what I'm saying, try to take from you or whatever. I don't know, but you know, it is what it is. I ain't the only motherfucker that probably said what I said. Of course, uh, I think he was beefing with Dave Calloway, the dude talking about we was Indians, and who else? There's some dude that was he from California. Um, Mama's boy, pudgy dude. He's a Pan Africanist. Um, he was really beefing with that dude. That dude was super trolling that dude. Now that dude, man, I gotta give it to that dude. That dude wasn't. Man. If anybody ever got some heat, it definitely if Tariq it got heat from somebody, it was that dude, that Pan Africanist dude that be on Search for Uhurus. Man, he gave that dude some work, you know. Now I'm not gonna troll you and all that shit. I got a life, you know. I don't have time to be trolling and all that. I'm saying what I'm saying, and I've said you know, my disagreements as far as Tariq and his, you know, trying to separate black people from Africans. All you gotta do is look at what the white folks doing and what you're doing. Basically, you know, what black people are about to play chess is about white and black, right? All you gotta do is see what they're doing and what you're doing. If you're doing something that is you know, opposite of them, and it's not working, you clearly see it's not working. You know it's the wrong thing to do. And I know black society is filled with a lot of, you know, black female interests and um, basically movements, as far as like how we move. If you know, a lot of us are simps. So if the woman don't approve, we kowtow to them. You know, we don't. You know what I'm saying? So basically, a lot of women, they are counterintuitive, so they basically they make a lot of times decisions that are basically against their own interests. But here's the thing with women, that's why I don't be concerning myself about women and shit like that, because women, they can do that and still be all right, because at the end of the day, let's say a war happened, they will be spared, a lot of them, as booty. You know what I'm saying? Because that, you know, to be honest, you know, that's what black women have, you know, basically been brought over from West Africa to be booty, for, you know, for enslaved masters. You know what I'm saying? So he said, I said you would be a great fit because of past and recent discussion on the panel. I will tell you what his harvest are about it in the email, give you instructions on how to prepare them. Okay. All right. I want to shed light on cool brothers that have been in the space a while. I know who you talking about, Pan African dude. Yep. Tariq pulled up on him and did a cartoon of him and Michi X. Okay. Yeah, I mean, dude is good. You know, he's got a big following. You know, a lot of people follow him. You know, when everybody say FBA, you notice it's more people saying FBA than ADOS. So he created a flag and shit and everything. So like again, Law 31, control the options, get others to play with the cards you deal. You know, create some type of following, you know, so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. You know, and the thing is that you know, it is what it is. You know, you can call me a dust bandit. You can call me Dusty. You know, whatever, broke. You know, that's why that's why I literally like, you know, created this channel because, you know, a lot of people probably won't point out any type of weakness that they have. Uh, it's a art to it. If you say what is probably somebody else would possibly say, then you know it's not going to really affect the message because you've already said it. You've already zeroed on to that, and okay, you know, at the end of the day, you know, you gotta understand it's honor. It's honor. You know what I'm saying? It's honor and ethics, right? You know, um, I'd rather be broke than have to beg a motherfucker to give me some money on a goddamn GoFundMe for some project. You know, I just rather be broke. It's certain things I'd rather be broke than have to motherfucking steal an idea from somebody and not give them no credit. You know, I was raised with integrity. My mother and father, my mother was African American from Louisiana, from the West, Southwest of the United States. You know, my great grandfather is Bill Pickett. You know, I was raised with honor and integrity. I will never fucking do some shit like that. Never. I don't care if it's a fucking Mac pimp. If that's what I wanted to do, I will fucking put even my ex-wife on my. I went through hell with my goddamn ex-wife. I put her on the credits. She gave me the idea. Hey, you should write a book. Blah 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 blah. Okay. I just so happened I did write a book. I gave her credit on the fucking first the cover of the fucking book. And I mean, I haven't even expressed everything that happened with my relationship, and you know what I'm saying. Every now and again, you know, it shit pop out, and you know what I'm saying, like it's some sideways shit. But the thing is that when it come down to it, I would never do something like that and not give anybody no credit. Even you know, basically, I noticed there's a lot of similarities with my book, The Millionaire Savings Plan, and Dave Ramsey's book. I mentioned Dave Ramsey. Okay, I mentioned yeah, some of the ideas, yes, I did get from Dave Ramsey. It's very similar to Dave Ramsey to a certain extent where you know it's certain steps and stuff like that, but it's not all Dave Ramsey. I've, you know, basically created something that's, you know, um, a different challenge, a different strategy, and I go about it a different way. I didn't just do the shit and then, you know what I'm saying, never mention Dave Ramsey ever or nothing like that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, so the thing is that this dude, man, and a lot of I don't know how old he is, but a lot of dudes, a lot of black people have this problem where they basically vultures. They stealing people's shit and they don't give them no credit. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just black people, but a lot of people do that. And I absolutely have a problem with that. You know, and it was a dude named Joe Jackson. I will be honest with you. I'm gonna tell you a story about Joe Jackson. It's been a while. I haven't I haven't told this story. It's been a long time since I told this story. You know, and I'll drop the fucking link. This is an open channel. If anybody, any of his, sheep army wanna come up, I got time. I got time, I got a little time, not a lot, but because I actually have to go to work because, I rather motherfucking go to work than have to steal the motherfucking information and then not give them credit and create GoFundMe's, you know what I'm saying, and create movements where I have some sheep following that creates separation. Yeah, I'd rather go to work than do that. Nah, he ain't a thorn in my side. He was a thorn in Tariq's side. He had to put a restraining order on dude. So yeah, anyway, man, that situation, man, I said enough, man. You know, end of the day, man, whenever somebody basically is trying to create some type of division, you know, you gotta look at it for what it is, man. Somebody trying to set up the the old divide and conquer play, and it is what it is, man. And I'm not hating because he got some money because from the GoFundMe or his following. I give a fuck about none of that shit. It's a lot of people with money. I know billionaires and stuff like that I study and research. And I don't, what I'm saying, I don't hate on people with money, and he ain't got money like that. Because if he had money, if he know how to make money and shit like that, he wouldn't do no GoFundMe's. You know, what I'm saying? Robert Smith don't have to do no GoFundMe's. Reginald Lewis didn't do no GoFundMe's. He knew how to have corporate meetings, get with the right people, get the funding he needed, the startup funding, whatever business funding, business credit. He knew how to work that out. He didn't need to do that. Nah. And then when you got money, what I'm saying, you're supposed to know how to make more money. But the thing is that you're supposed to graduate from that. But the thing is, the dude did feel his promise. I give him that. I give him the fact that he created, something. Even though they call it a juke joint, the museum is a juke joint. But hey, maybe I might go see the juke joint or whatever, the museum juke joint. Like I ain't gonna lie, like my funny thing, man, one of my uncles, his house is like a museum, you know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of cool, man. I like that shit. But yeah, man, that whole shit, man, that shit tripped out, man. And then you hear people say that, and then when I hear people say FBA, I mean, what you call don't necessarily do that. He don't go in depth like that. Antonio Moore with the ADO stuff. I mean, Tariq goes, he takes it like a whole step further. But the thing is that I'm not gonna say that Africans don't have some type of supremacy that they feel over blacks in America, and the same thing Europeans have when they look at Americans. They look at themselves like supreme over Americans. I'm not gonna say that that's not an issue, or I didn't face that myself. I mean, I'm not gonna gloss over that. But at the end of the day, man, yeah, I don't, at the end of the day, man, I it's a great time to be alive, man. You got a lot of people making fucked up ass decisions, you got a lot of people that's just, fucked up in the head, you know, they gotta, make some type. They following somebody. Then next thing you know, about 5 years later, they're a divester and shit. They, what I'm saying, on something totally different. So we got a challenger. What I'm saying, um, I do have a little time today. Do have a little time. I dropped the link so you can say that this is not a fucking echo chamber. You know what I'm saying? This is not a fucking echo chamber. I don't care who you are. I will, you know, I will talk to you. You know what I'm saying? This, I guess you could say it's also a smoke show, I guess, to a certain degree. What's going on, brother?
Not much, man. Just up listening to you and doing some work at the same time.
Oh, for sure, man. I'm glad I'm providing some type of entertainment for you.
I mean, no, you always talking, your truth, man. You do it by yourself. That's what I admire about you. You don't have to have a crowd. You know, you like me. I'm okay with not having people around, but at the same time,
Mm,
we still do need people around. You know,
yeah, yeah,
do
yep, for sure, for sure.
because it show how well you work with others.
Yeah, man. People know me, man. You know,
Yeah, they do.
one thing about our last conversation we had with that Leslie Jones, if you really pay attention to what she said, she basically said she listens. She's one of those cloud watchers that is a celebrity, an entertainer. She's probably at this point, I'm sure she's a multimillionaire. She's in the cloud watching, you know, podcasters, as she say.
You think that's
So
what she doing?
so if Leslie is watching, that means Ebony K. Williams is watching. That would explain her change and her viewpoints. You know what I'm saying? So these people are watching. That's one of the things that I remember. I have to remind myself, and not that it really even matters because I mean, it does, but it really doesn't because until these people come out the clouds, you know, um, you most people won't even know, that these people actually watch like that. Because one of the things I like about Mark Zuckerberg and his platform, which is Facebook, you could actually see who's watching, and people know that. You can see basically who's watching, and it's kind of tripped out. Like you can see, literally who's watching you in real time. So people can't say, "Oh, I ain't watching you." That's what people say on the internet. Or you see that on YouTube. Like, man, I don't know who you are. I don't watch you, and they lying. They
Well, a lot
absolutely
of
watch
people,
you.
a lot of people
Uh,
cloud watch, and or as they would call it now, hate watch.
uh,
Because they
yeah,
have to see what you're doing. They have to stay, uh, what is it called? Like 10 steps ahead of you.
incognito.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's what people do, man. I mean, hey, I do it too. Hey, hey, Sarah. Que Sarah Sarah. I'll be in the clouds. I'll be watching. I do that to you. I watch you and I mean your videos or whatever. You know, I
Yeah,
might
yeah,
comment. I have commented because I think that's not fair. I need to watch. I need to watch. Pay attention to the people that rock with me. I
yeah.
need to go back on Soul Shader. I need to look at what Soul Shader's doing. You know, in the Navy. You know what I'm saying? I need to check up on y'all, man. See what y'all talking about. Y'all might be put me up on some information.
Well,
Some valuable.
that's basically sometime, man, because you're busy. I don't think nobody take offense to it. We all busy, and if you got a real life, you ain't gonna be on here 24 hours.
Yeah,
So
man.
yeah,
Uh,
so I look at it.
exactly,
I look
man.
at it.
Uh, yeah, it's like basically, I do be busy, and um, the thing is that still I still need to show respect, support every now and again. I basically um I need to rock with who's rocking with me. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously,
and
you know what I'm
I'm the
saying?
same way, man. I'm the same way, and I had to even myself. Although I know I could have been super bigger than some of these cats that came out with their channels, and all thing they doing is just jumping on damn YouTube and talking a whole bunch of
Uh,
shit and rant
I
and
need
rant.
to I need to come out. I need to figure out if I'm gonna be a sing rapper or actual rapper, you know, and actually drop a album or a single. Is that what you do first? You drop a single?
Yeah, you do a single or EP, which consists of 4 to 5 songs.
Yeah, I need to drop figure out if I'm gonna be a sing rapper or what I'm gonna do. Um, and
Well,
just drop that.
I am working on an album. So the thing is, with me, I want to be able to, like most all the people that I've done live streams with, or talk to them. I'll probably put some of the things we've talked about in the album. And the album is a non-profit album, so it's not nothing that I'm doing to be recognized or to get money. So see, I'm
Mhm,
old and now I'm not no not that we worry about our age as men. I guess when you reach 35 to 40, you consider older. You get what I'm saying? You know, so
mhm.
it's not even really about age,
Right,
but
exactly.
I do want to give people a chance. I do want to start a record label where I can give people a chance who had really good material back then, and for some reason their dreams were shattered because of having to rely on a record company. Today you don't have to do that. You just don't. You just come out.
Mhm,
Shit. That's why they got all these TV
mhm,
shows like America's Got Talent. Um, Name another one. It's just a
mhm,
few of them that help older people and they discover them. I mean, shit. But I think black people are the only people who think like that about the age thing. White
mhm,
folks, no matter what age you are,
mhm,
they looking for the next thing that goes viral, all the way down to
mhm,
whether you're an opera singer. But one thing about it, if you're a singer, no matter what age you are, you can still put out music. Now, if you're a rapper,
mhm,
unless you just somebody that's 80 years old and just want to do something just to for fun, say, oh, look at grandpa, the dancing grandpa, something like that. But
mhm,
if you're a rapper, I think by 40, you kind of like need to give it up and go into acting unless you
mhm,
already a legend, like KRS-One or Jay-Z, or don't put them out all the time waiting to be seen. Go into other things to show where your money has been invested.
mhm,
You know, and you know,
mhm,
and you know what I'm saying? It's just so many.
mhm,
Look at Method Man.
mhm,
All them brothers right now, they more laid back and they doing other things with their life. You know, Will
Mm-hmm.
Smith gave it up a long time ago, although he trending, over the internet for his personal life. But they stopped a long time ago, you know, wanting to be known as the best rapper. LL Cool J can do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
so
Mm-hmm.
even me, I've had the success at certain things, man. But I'm not one of them dudes that sit around and talk about uh who I did music for, what albums I'm on, who I've sung back and forth, because it don't
Mm-hmm.
get me nowhere. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
almost counts. It does counts, but you got to move on. Because some people don't know how to move on with what their life could have been from the past. You know what I'm saying? Like I got
Mm-hmm.
family members right now that can't let the fact go that okay, yeah, okay, you were recognized for certain things. You did albums, you did music, you did certain things, but every time we look
Mm-hmm.
up, you happen to be
Mm-hmm.
seen in Hollywood. You happen to be seen at the award show in order for people to say,
Mm-hmm.
okay, oh, I remember that group. I remember them from back in the day. They did this, they did that. But
Mm-hmm.
it's more to it than uh, they
Yeah,
want to be
so
recognized.
you got
What are
you
you doing
got
now?
you got me reminded you got me reminded of Joe Jackson. So Joe Jackson pretty much embodied what you're talking about. So the thing with Joe Jackson, uh, he was a guy basically. He was a trucker, um, out of Chicago primarily. I think he lived in Chicago. So it kind of goes with what you're talking about, and also stealing people's intellectual property and not giving them credit. So Joe Jackson, he came up with this, invention for basically a trucker's toilet. A lot of times truckers on the road, they got to stop somewhere, and they don't have no bathroom unless they go to a truck stop, and then you got an 18 wheeler, pulling over on the side of the road is kind of complicated. You know what I'm saying? So um, he had this invention. One of the guys that I did computer work for, that was a patent attorney that was his colleague, and his colleague basically, for whatever reason, why he did it or what the details were, I'm not quite sure, but Joe Jackson was about his late 50s or even 60s, and he was like basically you know this is my probably my last time, my opportunity to make any money. This patent lawyer basically took the opportunity for me to ever make anything, as far as any big money or whatever. And you know he took a gun. He went to the office of this lawyer's firm, and he killed the secretary. He killed the lawyer, the patent attorney, and they had to get a sniper, a SWAT sniper, to basically eliminate Joe Jackson from this office building. And I'm, that's what I'm saying, that's the extreme of that, stealing people's intellectual property. But I mean, obviously, a patent is a lot of money involved with that. You create some type of invention that could be life changing, you know, revolutionary, so on and so forth. So I mean, that's how he felt. He was like, that was his last hoorah. That was his last opportunity for any success. Um, and he did what he did, you know. So, I mean, is that right or wrong? Should you do that? You know, he
You know,
felt like maybe he felt like, this man, I can't let him do that. I can't let him steal all of my, life's work, something that I thought about. And he probably felt like, cause see, here's the thing: if you wanna sue somebody, he probably knew the complications that was involved with that. Having a attorney is expensive to fight a case. He didn't have the money. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, he weighed all of that out, and he just basically, whatever, I don't know what kind of gun he had. He just went into that law firm, and took care of it, caveman style, of course, but he dealt with it, the way
listen,
he thought.
let's say
Yeah.
this, like I said to you in the comments before I came
Mm-hmm.
up. I'm basically saying in short form right now, there's nothing new under the sun. But
Mm-hmm.
the you has been put
Mm-hmm.
in things that we know about,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm saying it right, like I'm inspired by a lot of things as a designer, as a writer,
Mm-hmm.
as a videographer, a storyteller, a homicide detective, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all that, I mean, these are the things that I really have been in my life and still is saying, but
Mm-hmm.
well, I ain't gonna say I'm a homicide detective. Let me take that back. I am
Mm-hmm.
studying being on the PhD level, something dealing with
Mm-hmm.
homicide investigations and
Mm-hmm.
reporting. But I've always been
Mm-hmm.
a investigator. Just put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been a nosy motherfucker,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not nosy because I want to get into your personal life. I'm nosy because I don't want you to get away with certain
Mm-hmm.
things that where people
Mm-hmm.
feel compelled to not they feel it's no hope, like I'm big
Mm-hmm.
on bullying people. I'm big on cybersecurity, and people doing things that have no big
Mm-hmm.
dangerous. I'm big on people doxing folks. I'm big on people talking behind
Mm-hmm.
avatars and not showing their faces. Now,
Mm-hmm.
you know that
Mm-hmm.
a lot of us don't want to show our faces on the internet for a reason, but do you really
Mm-hmm.
have a real legit reason and business
Mm-hmm.
and career where you don't want people in
Mm-hmm.
your business and people
Mm-hmm.
doing certain things to you? That's fine. But my thing is, if
Mm-hmm.
your person has to look over your shoulders all the time, you need to stop doing some shit you ain't got no business doing. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and you calling yourself a public figure and you got a channel that's pretty big, but you want to be behind. All this shit got to stop. Now because it's
Mm-hmm.
so easy for people like that to get on the internet, ruin your fucking life, disappear.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I got friends right now in high places that is in high
Mm-hmm.
um in
Mm-hmm.
cybersecurity and have a
Mm-hmm.
security, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
that's how I've been able to, you know, follow in their footsteps. That's how I've been able to find certain things out because it's just ridiculous that people are getting away with these things. You know,
Right.
the trolling, giving the misinformation, not citing your sources. Um, we've taken freedom of speech too far, and freedom of speech shouldn't be a way to abuse people and to dox folks.
Uh-huh.
Now, now I see even me and you when we met a long time ago. You know
Uh-huh.
why you're a person where it takes time to get to know people. You've said that before, where you just don't consider you don't call people your friend right away, or you don't let people into
Uh-huh.
your personal life right away because being burnt. I've been burnt before. I know what it's like. But people can't
mm,
do nothing to you that you don't let do to you. Now, if you
mm,
know that you're a person that's gonna be doing some wild shit, and you know
mm,
you're hiding from something,
mm,
stay off the radar. I put it that way. Stay off the big screen. Stay off the radar. Me, I'm a motherfucking open book. I ain't got shit to hide. You know what I'm saying? Now,
mm,
because I'm telling my business,
mm,
it doesn't mean that I'm lying to
mm,
you. You know,
mm,
you need to know me for what
mm,
good work I'm putting out there. Now, if I'm out here cutting up,
mm,
acting a motherfucking fool, disrespecting folks,
mm,
uh, uh, uh,
mm,
uh, causing problems on the internet and being behind the avatar and then
mm,
disappearing. You know, you got a lot of
mm,
clowns out here that are doing that. You know, so we
mm,
have to be careful with
mm,
who we give our information to. We got to be
mm,
careful with a whole bunch of different things. You get what I'm saying?
mm, mm,
You know, protect yourself, but at the same time, if you're
mm,
gonna call some shit out, be man enough to get up
mm,
on the screen and just
mm,
own up to whatever, debate the person, talk to the person about certain things. Now, if you did something to me and you my homie, you're supposed to be my homie. You did something against the brotherhood of us, and you got my phone number. Let's talk about it behind the scenes.
mm,
When you do some fuck shit like a bitch, and then you go and make a stream about me or do something that's just completely out of order. You know what I'm saying? When you had my number, then yeah, I'm gonna give it to you.
mm. Yeah, unfortunately I have to put my elite hat back on, and I have to explain that I'm an elite dude. Like I mean, I ain't never pledged no frat or nothing, but my cousin had, um, my cousin even Jewish. That's the tripped out thing about him. He's Jewish. Now he didn't really explain like his ideology. Is he a black Hebrew Israelite or? And I never really asked him that because he's kind of quiet, and I respect that about him, that he don't really want to go into the fine details, about what he thinks about things. Now he did go into why he's a Republican. He basically said he don't like how the Democrats basically operate, you know. Um, but the thing is that, man, yeah, I mean, shoot, I really that ain't how I operate, because you gotta understand. I mean, I'm not, you know, I'm still human, but I was raised, around certain people. I think differently. I just, what I'm saying, I think differently. Everybody's not the same, and that's why I question people to, be like, hey, you should be doing this and all that. I mean, now, as far as like your integrity as far as a person, that's universal. You shouldn't be no snake nigga, um, or anybody, if basically out there, stealing people information, stealing people credit card information, all that type of stuff. You should, you shouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because uh, that's robbing from Peter to pay Paul. But the thing is that I don't necessarily say that I'm above reproach. Nobody really, I'm not, what I'm saying, the best debater or whatever like that. But I do know a lot of the tricks that what people do. I do know kind of what people do and whatnot. Like, as far as you go to their channel, in a debate sphere, you can even call it the debate sphere. a lot of what the manosphere is also the debate sphere. It's like the debate team, you know. It was a chick that I used to date in high school. She was on the debate team, and I don't really know. You know, I think I did see the movie with the Great Debaters, but I'm not really sure as far as like, you know, I'm not. That's not really my thing, so I don't really know that much about that.
Yeah, I was
Um,
in the debate club myself. I was in the debate club
uh,
myself while
uh,
in high school,
but I
and
will. Yeah. Okay.
and I had to graduate uh just in as an adult and learning how to accept opinions, because guess what? We all come from awkward stages in life that will never show unless you're up close and personal. Like right now, we get along. We have great dialogues. You know what I'm saying? We're not trying to
Mm-hmm.
up one on each other or trying to say, okay, well, man, you wrong, bro, genius, because of how you think or what you say. I've had
Mm-hmm.
so many niggas in the black manosphere that either that either I put it this way, I ain't gonna say they went against me, but
Mm-hmm.
it shows in their attitude because I'm not even on live streams as much. If I come to your live stream, I must fuck with you big time because I don't come on nobody panel. I don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I learned my lesson about
Mm-hmm.
panels, but shit can be misconstrued. People would clip you, they would lie, they would say certain things. Um, I used to hang heavily with a whole bunch of brothers, and we started out over there on Roger Report. I still fuck with
Mm-hmm.
Roger Cool. I fuck with Kevin being brutally honest. I fuck with Rogish. The rest of the motherfuckers I don't really talk to like that because I used to be over there supporting their channels monetarily, addition to just being on the channels, gracing my presence because I'm not gonna lie. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm not trying to say that I'm all that. But I'm a nigga that can be
Mm-hmm.
cool with you today. You can see me on TV tomorrow. And people be like, damn man, how you know Nino? He was on your show. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm okay with
Mm-hmm.
that because I really believe in people.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Now,
Mm-hmm.
the problem I have is with backstabbing ass niggas. You know, the ones that I've supported. They've never come
Mm-hmm.
to do a like. They can sit through an 8 hour live stream, but they can't go to my documentaries and give it a click. At least give it a click,
Mm-hmm.
or give it a like.
Yeah.
They've
Mm-hmm.
been in my documentaries and they've never even said, "Hey, Nino, thank you. Thank you
Mm-hmm.
for shouting out. Thank you for putting my banner." I don't even have a lot of subscribers. You know what I'm saying? And some of them have gotten subscribers off the
Mm-hmm.
click that I have, off my shit. And I don't care nothing about that because if
Mm-hmm.
I put you in something, that means I believed in you enough and I respect what you
Mm-hmm.
have to say. I value your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I value your opinion as
Mm-hmm.
somebody, a brother that's
Mm-hmm.
cool. You know what I'm saying? And I know that you're not just out here spewing out some shit that
Mm-hmm.
just doesn't make sense. You get what I'm saying? Because I don't advocate for that. You have to
Mm-hmm.
bring me sources, or at least you got to make it make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now, in particular, used to hang out in these echo chambers. Now, like you
Mm-hmm.
say, you like BGS. A lot of people don't like BGS.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a problem with BGS. BGS never done
Mm-hmm.
nothing to me. He's never done nothing to me. Now, do I condone some of the bullshit he has said and the things he's done in the space? No, I don't. You know what I'm saying? But that's who he
Mm-hmm.
is. Yeah, we can't hold nobody accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Real talk, we really can't. But I just think that
Mm-hmm.
if you give a genuine conversation,
Mm-hmm.
if you're being genuine, you must understand that everybody's not going to have the leader mindset like you. You must understand that there is room for manipulation because, like you said earlier, you know, early on in the live stream, you said
Mm-hmm.
there are some dudes who it's something you said to the point of they're not leaders, they're more like followers, they're more like they're looking for somebody to lead them. They look at something of that nature. Didn't you say something like that? Similar to that? They're not okay with just being.
Yeah, this it's a law 31. It's law 31. 48 laws of power. Control the
Yeah,
options. Get others to play with the cards you deal. So basically, you create your own following. Basically, you create your own minion army. Your minion, your minion army does all of your work for you. The 48 Laws of Power is an epic book. If you read the 48 Laws of Power, it puts you on that elite spectrum. It's one of those life changing books. A lot of people probably don't want to give Robert Greene credit because he's a white dude or whatever. Um, I don't hate white people. I look up to white people just like they look up to us. Like if you're a cold raw white dude, you cold raw white dude.
yeah,
You cold raw white woman. You're a cold raw white woman. You know what I'm saying? If you on some fuck shit, I mean, everybody can see this shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like at the end of the day, uh, you know, yeah, the 48 Laws of Power was a good book. A lot of people quoted that, but back to what you were talking about your detractors and the people that you don't like, and
no,
and
no.
and,
I
and how they
hold on, hold on,
move.
hold on, hold on. I
Mm,
didn't say I didn't say I did not like people. I just learned my lesson. Even in that lesson, let me
mm,
tell you, bro. When I first started my channel, first started to people didn't know at what level I was gonna do this shit because they thought that I was just gonna start a channel and
mhm,
just start getting on the live stream and start talking. No, I wasn't gonna do that. They did not know my background. They did not know what it was
mhm,
that Neo was going to do. The only thing they knew me for was okay, he can speak
mhm,
well, on panels, he makes some valid points. And people like
mhm,
they really do. They draw to me. And I'm not saying I'm all that, you know what I'm
mhm,
saying? Because I don't look for that type of validation. I just don't. But the thing was they liked me for who I was, but at the same time they knew that I wouldn't you couldn't put a battery in my back and make me think like you. You see what I'm saying? I'm not that dude that's gonna
mhm,
think like you get in these echo chambers or I didn't have that experience. I learned to stay in my lane because for one, I'm not qualified to sit up there and be in these crying echo chambers. I'm not qualified there because my life wasn't that. I didn't have no problem with no woman. I didn't have no problems with all the things that they've been through. Not to dismiss, and I've said this plenty of times, not to dismiss the things that they've been through, but that's just not me. So you may say tomato, I may say tomato. We're saying the same thing,
mhm.
but at the same we may be on the panel
Mhm.
and we may have different opinions, and that's what make it. But I learned that even in the past, that if you don't agree with certain things, these dudes will go at you. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't gonna think alike.
Yeah, and the thing is that you got one thing you got to understand is that I had to learn how to deal with people on panels and like you said, knowing who to rock with and whatnot, because like you will go on certain panels and they'll talk over you, they'll try to gang up on you. Do you and that's why I had to explain this is the cyber world we are in. Like if right now I'm on a desktop in my office, what I'm saying? Like, I what I'm saying, sometimes I'm on my laptop, my internet connection, it's budget. I ain't gonna front and say I got a T1 line or my fucking, fiber and nothing like that.
But guess what?
But
That's
the
too
thing
much.
is,
That's too much information. They don't need to know that what you got is what you got, and that's just it. Ain't your message
well,
getting across?
well, what the thing is I'm just saying, bro.
Hmm.
I'm saying a point, and I'm not, I'm trying to get somewhere. Like basically, we're in the cyber world where it's not the real world, but people actually will try to do that in the real world too, where you will go on somebody panel and they'll totally create their own reality in their response. A lot of women do that. Like you say, bitches do that. They'll say something that's totally not true, just so they can be right, to their audience or whatever. And you see that a lot of time, and when you see that, you like, okay, this person just wants to be right, like you say, like a bitch. Okay. So when you realize that, and it could be very frustrating, but it's like this person, he doesn't look at this like this. He looks at this like a video game. He could create his own reality. He you're coming into his trine world where he only he matters. Only what he says is true. Forget the definition, the actual definition of a word. Forget the actual reality of what's going on. It's about him talking and him saying, whatever he's saying, so he can come off like he knows what he's talking about and you don't. So the thing is that when you realize that, you learn, like you said, naturally to fall back on people like that, and then try to gather your thoughts and realize, okay, well, if I just be quiet, people can clip this, people can play the playback, and then they could see obviously what this guy's full of shit or this woman is full of shit. And that's what the unfortunate thing is, that's the only thing that you have to do. That's the actual reality of you doing that. People can point out, they could do a reaction video and basically say this dude, obviously Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles in the grave can see this person is basically saying a bunch of
But you know
chicanery.
what, though?
You know what I'm saying?
Let's just put it this way. Let's put it this way, bro. It is a defense mechanism that these guys have. That's why they get up on their panels.
Yeah,
They never
these are, this is, now you click the light bulb, because one of the things I realized is that, going on panels and whatnot, is that these guys are skilled debaters. They take this serious. They know about ad hominems, straw men's, uh, ad hocs, fallacies, all of the different fallacies. And I know about it too because I'm educated. I went to university, and I studied for study sociology. They talked about all of these fallacies and breaking down an argument, and that's where I come in. That I know how to do that. I'm the guy that stood up. Went to Chicago State University. I stood up and I challenged the professor's statements,
wait
arguments,
a minute.
and
Hold
they
on,
did
hold on.
not like
You
that.
challenged the professor.
Yeah, I did
I
not like, if it's
let,
something
let's
that I
say
didn't
this.
agree with, and they didn't like me for that. And one of the things I don't like about education, and I expressed that a long time ago, is that when you're in the humanities like psychology, sociology, philosophy, if you're not buttering up the professor, or the professor just simply doesn't like you, they have the power to give you a letter grade. In the sciences and the technology, that's why I went there. They cannot do that. It's
But you know what? No,
all scantrons.
let me say
Mm,
something real quick. Now,
yeah.
you're so correct about that. Now, I'm not trying to say I'm a goody two shoe, but brother, let me tell you, I've been in a many of classes, even right now in my PhD program that I'm in right now, that I'm working on. Um, Most of these professors, these doctors, they are people who, well, they beyond PhDs or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They they've written these books and they teach out of these books, and their own belief systems. You know what I'm saying? They want to make them your belief system. See, some people like
Mhm.
that, that's headstrong, you got to let them on their own shit, you got to let them be who they are. That's the same thing how the internet goes with everybody having a channel. You got to let them be who they are.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because it'll show up.
It,
Everybody knows certain things.
mhm.
Then for those who do not know, maybe they
Mhm.
have to learn. Maybe they're going to that person's channel to make them feel good. People that agree with people are like-minded. You get what I'm saying? Uh, people want
Mhm.
you to tell them things
Mhm.
to make them feel good, and that's usually a person who's not a leader. You know, they won't challenge anything. Now you challenge your professor. I have challenged my professors as well. But I learned to sometimes let them motherfuckers be right, get that grade, and go. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Mhm.
and then when your time
What's
comes,
going on,
go ahead and
Alonzo?
do it.
Salute.
Yeah, when your time, what's up, Alonzo? When your time comes, go and do your own thing. Uh, Same thing with me in the music business and me doing notes. I've had to fire a couple of dudes because they were my backup singers and they didn't understand. I said, look, man, let me get in here first and do my thing and do what I have to do, brother. Then you go, I'll help you out with your album. But no,
Mhm.
and at the time of me recording my shit, they want to oversing me and do louder, make their voice louder than mine. And I've had to tell the engineer to cut their vocals down in the back. They didn't want that. You know, I had to fire a dude. You know, come to find out, this nigga was jealous of me. And the worst thing you could ever have around you is a person that says they're happy for you in your moment, brother. And guess what? They hating on you all at the same time.
Mhm.
Been there,
Mhm.
you know.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
my
but I
thing
mean,
is,
yeah, like these guys, these are very good debaters. These guys, a lot of people don't probably give them no credit as far as how
I
good
do.
they are, and then manipulative as well, because
It
a
takes an
lot of
art
these
to do that.
guys they know if they can control the narrative on their channel, but if you go to their channel, they got other people on the panel to cut you off to
Yeah.
basically um,
And guess what? They
tag team
cannot do
on
it.
you.
And guess what? They cannot do it alone, bro. They can't. So you will find those
Mhm.
brothers that will get a group up there. My thing is they don't have no etiquette because they don't know how to run a show properly. If you are interviewing
Mhm.
somebody, don't you think that
Mhm.
you can get more interviews where people can hear what you're talking about, or
Mhm.
get to or whatever problem you have, or whatever debate you have, whatever show you're having. People want to be able to go to the
Mhm.
playback without having these same old folks come up on the panel spewing out shit that's not true.
Oh man, I know you talking about, but I mean, hey, it is what it is, man.
I
It's,
mean, they mics is fucked up. They ain't got no kind of etiquette with sound. I mean, come on, brother.
mm,
You brothers are educated. You got yourselves together.
mm,
That's why people start to follow you in the beginning.
mm.
Why every time you have a show, you have to have these same old motherfuckers up
Well,
that's gonna
the, the thing, the thing is that where a lot of times these people they don't wanna acknowledge you and everything like that because they
I
full
don't
of
care nothing
shit,
about them acknowledging me
I
because
mean
I
that's
stand out alone. I'm
yeah,
my
that's
own
what I'm
brand. I'm
saying.
my
Like,
own person.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's how you gotta be. At the end of the day, people could be just, like I said before, people can have private discords. A lot of these people on YouTube and social media, they run in cliques and packs.
And
And
you know
you
why?
could just be
And I'm glad.
not
And I'm glad.
you
Let me
could
say this.
be
I'm glad.
as the outlier that everybody should not be listening to. And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna let you rock, right? I've I've seen and listened to and scouted other people basically bullying people that actually watch other people's channels that they have active disagreements or beef with, and it's hilarious. It's like this is actually going on. I've actually witnessed it, and it is like it's kind of like high school, and it's like wow. And you see this as a man, the job, got stuff going on that you're actually doing, and I showcase this stuff. This ain't I play chess, wins or losses. I show it. Um, I'm showing what I'm doing with my house. I'm showing me making a cement block, cutting a fridge in half. Was that a fridge? No, that was cutting a fridge in half with a sawzall. I'm very skilled and talented in many different areas. I got a book. This actually is just so happen to be also a finance channel, by the way. This is a finance channel. So
Yeah,
I'm
it is.
showing how multifaceted I am. And these guys, a lot of time they're just a bunch of talk with no action. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you really gotta understand that these people, they bring a greater good because they are talking about some good points. But it's like, at the end of the day, life goes on, time steals everyone. You have to look at it like, what have you showed and improved, other than some new shoes or something, like, what are you actually doing,
You know
that's the
what?
problem that I have with some of the guys, man, that they're talking and they're just basically a bunch of babbling heads that ain't got what they talking about. They've been talking about stuff, for decades, and they don't have nothing to show for it other than being
You know what I
overweight
call them?
and out
You
of
know what I
breath.
call them? I call them chatty Kens and messy calls.
Chatty Hens and Bessie calls.
No,
Yeah, so it's like,
chatty,
yeah, you
chatty,
you
chatty
just
Ken,
yeah.
chatty Kens and messy
Mm.
Carls with the K.
Yeah, man. You just like basically I mean, you might you have your freedom to do that, but you gotta understand, what if somebody wants to be what is called quote unquote progressive? If they want to actually progress in life, they're listening to you as entertainment, and then they might be even affected or influenced by certain things that you say, but you have nothing that what you speak of. You talking about family, talking about children, you have none. You're talking about, we need to do this, but you don't do it. It's like, at the end of the day,
Well, let's
that's
say
why I
this. I'm
say, I
not
mean, I
gonna
have
say.
to.
Let me say this, Jake. Let me say this, bro. I'm
Mhm.
not saying that nobody can't speak on certain things because they may not be married or they may not have kids. I think that men should be able to talk about anything, that men go
Mhm.
through, but at the same time, uh, have some kind of experience in that, by whether you learn from somebody else's experiences or somebody in your family been through some things. Maybe your father have talked to you about these things. You know what I'm saying? But most of these dudes, they have never been in any kind of situation, but yet they want to get up and tell you what a leader is. They complain about women they don't want, and they probably can't get, or that they're not experienced enough to even, be in that same league. And like, I was just on a panel recently. Israel Mills, that's my homie. We cool. And they had a problem with the word league, out of your league. See, at some point we gotta tell dudes, you know, hey man, if a woman's a problem, then she's even out of your league, or you're out of her league. What's wrong
Mm-hmm.
with saying that's out of my league?
Mm-hmm.
Because I ain't gonna be able to put up with that. You know what I'm saying? So the word league
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't be your only concentration. You know what I'm saying? And yes,
Mm-hmm.
there are some dudes that are that we as black men, we should not put each other down, but there are some of us that have not graduated to the level of some sort. You know what I'm saying? To be, we're not qualified enough, nor are we strong enough in the mind to say, okay, man, that's just something I don't know about. I'm gonna let that's Bro Genius expertise. I'm gonna let him do
Mm-hmm.
that. I've had dudes in the space that knows I'm a motherfucking filmmaker and videographer, and they'll tell people, oh man, I don't know nobody in the space that do videography. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
nobody in the space that is just as good. Or they'll go into, oh man, I'm learning it myself. When I learn it, I'll show you. I'll do the work for you. Not that I'm gonna. I don't have that kind of time to do work for people. You know what I'm saying? Any
And you
as
gotta
a
and you gotta talk about the self-hatred. You gotta
yeah.
talk about the self-hatred because that's you got a lot of people that have unchecked, unresolved self-hatred, and they're narcissistic,
Or they don't want
and
to give nobody
they
else no credit.
they're very cliquish, very cliquish. You gonna see me all over, man. You gonna see me all over. That's one of the things is I'm not cliquish like that. I do
You know
have
what? We see
I
you
do
all
have
over, but guess what? When we do see you, bro, you like a motherfucking chameleon. We don't know what to expect. You pop up
mm,
at really strange times. You know what I'm saying? Like
mm.
I didn't think I would ever see you over on RBR. You would know.
Well, I'm a I was in the shadows. I was in the shadow. Okay, I'm gonna tell you how that worked out, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, like a hawk, what I'm saying? I was in the clouds, like on Big Red's channel for months, right? And then RBR would come on Red's channel, and I was like, okay, this dude kind of crazy, but he got some good points and everything, and then they would dismiss him. And then even before that, I gotta say before that, RBR would give Bernard Riley money in super chats and say some crazy stuff in the super chat, and then Bernard would just kind of just basically dismiss it, be like, "Thank you for the support." And I was like, "Who is this dude, RBR?" Then I was like, "Okay, let me go listen to him." Then I was listening to RBR in the clouds for like a couple weeks, maybe couple weeks, a month, I don't know. And I was like, okay, he was talking about something. He was talking about Democrat versus Republican,
I
something
remember I
like
was
that. And
on the day.
then
Mhm.
yeah, and
I remember the day,
I
but
was
let me
like,
say this real quick before I forget. Let me say this real
mm,
quick.
all right,
Now, certain dudes, like, believe it or not, all the controversial dudes, a lot of people don't like. I ain't never had a problem with them. They like me personally. Now, it doesn't
mm,
mean because they like me that I'm okay with the fuckery and the bullshit that they do. I just don't say nothing about it. Now,
mm,
when it comes to me and you're in my
mm,
space, if I did a channel, you couldn't come on my panels
mm,
and I my panel and I not correct you about things that you're saying because the things you say need to be accurate and not by how you feel. You see what I'm saying? And that's been the problem a lot. You know what I'm saying? These niggas are in echo chambers to the point to where they're afraid to correct the person, you know. Um, and then when you hear this word YouTube
mm,
daddy, that's a trigger for a lot of them.
mm.
That's a trigger.
So my
Now,
so my whole thing is economic. My whole thing is economics, economic power. So when I asked RBR, okay, and I mentioned abortions, and he dismissed it, and said some other word salad or whatever. And then I asked him, I said, okay, so like what about, money or whatever? And he talked about, I don't know what he said. He was like basically he didn't want to make no money or something like that. And then I was like, I was out of there. You ain't never seen me. I've never heard. Cause see, the thing is that I
I remember
understand,
he dropped you though. He dropped
uh,
you.
uh,
Y'all got into it. He dropped
well,
you.
he kept dropping me, but I actually finally left because once I realized that you don't want any economics, you're not serious about economics. I have no salt in the kitchen. I mean, I basically have nothing else, you know, to deal. Like, I mean, the problem, the black community has a very serious economic problem, you know, because most of the time, like, okay, if I'm going to work, I should be going to work for a black company. Just so happen I'm going to an Indian company, but the thing
Yeah.
is that I should be going to a black company, and I'm not. So, that's a problem. That's a problem for a lot of people. So if you're not talking about that, or you're dismissing it, or you're not dealing with that, then yeah, I really I have no dog in that fight. And I'll immediately, like a chick that's a gold digger, I will immediately just fall back and let you live your life. You know what I'm saying? Because economics is a lot of what our problem is, and a lot of people, they will do certain things to self sabotage, like they will, because they want to be cliquish, they will people that actually support them, have their best interests, they will actually push those people over the cliff, and then wonder why now, in the future, a year or two later, they're not getting any support. They got to stop, they got to fall back because they, not getting any support anymore, and it's embarrassing, and everybody can see that shit. And it's like, okay, when you pull back the curtains, you realize that basically you fucked up. Basically like this here. And I'm an older dude. I'm a young elder. So I see that. I see what the errors that you did. And it's like,
I see something. Now you see now. You done fucked up, that, don't you?
I see
what I'm saying?
I thought.
No, so I'm saying that you done fucked up now. You know that, don't you?
And it's just like that, man. I see what the error of your ways.
You big dummy.
I feel it, man.
You done fucked up.
I look at me. I look at myself like this. Um, I'm in no room or position. Now, if I care about you and you one of the brothers I know that I can get through to, and we understand each other, and we're able to have iron to sharpen each other's iron. You know what I'm saying, and build off each other. That's when it matters to me. But if I know you're a dude that's headstrong and you're a problem, you're problematic, I'm not about to sit here and argue with you. And you know, I don't even get on panels and debate. And you know that because everything I do, I
Yeah.
put out on the screen. Um, I noticed that a lot of the brothers, when I start to come out with certain documentaries and come out with certain points and gave everybody an opinion to speak there, and it's not that everybody agreed. I'm okay with that. I noticed that they had a problem. Now, when I start to talk about the whining motherfuckers, the SBE, that's when they stop talking to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, they get SBE mixed up with, oh, you should not complain about women. No, you doing it to other dudes. The same shit you don't want women doing to y'all doing it to each other. That's the problem. That's the problem I have. This is who brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? Now, the other part was They want to shit on other men for their economical status because a dude don't have money, because he's not educated like us. And I've been told, Nino, you shouldn't be over there hanging out with them dudes, man, because they're not educated. And then y'all want to worry about why people are calling y'all educated lames. See, that's the difference. I don't think a brother who's educated is lame, because I don't like you sometimes, because I'm educated as well. The problem that I do have is the fact that you sit around and spew out all these talking points about people that support you. You got reform pookies that come to your motherfucking channel and super chat you with their hard working money. You got the dope boys that come to your channel and support. I've sent them there. The same people you see on screen that I interviewed that be on the streets that's homeless. They super chatting these motherfuckers from their tents in California, in Oakland. You know what I'm saying? And yet they sitting around talking about.
Well, they certainly ain't giving me no super chats and no cash apps, so I'm not included in that conversation. But you know, I definitely ain't included in that. But the thing is that at the end of the day, you know, I understand, you know, I've triggered a lot of people. I've said that before. I think last night. I know I triggered a lot of people, you know, and I'm probably most likely going to continue to trigger a lot of people. Because my actual what happened?
What happened? You said you triggered a lot of people last night.
Yeah, because basically the fact that I can see, here's the thing, I can actually you and me have very similar skills. We can acknowledge what actually is going on, even though people are not going to say what's going on. We can see what's going on, or you know what people's little hangups and stuff is. And the thing is that you know, I've triggered a lot of people from my discussions, my different live streams, what I've talked about in the past. You got to understand, you got a lot of people that have physical trauma, actual soul work that they have not done, they have run from, they have unchecked mental issues, all kind of stuff, and
guess what?
things
And a
that they
lot of
run
it ain't
away
got nothing to
from.
do with And guess what? A lot of it ain't got nothing to do with no woman. Ain't got nothing to do with no woman. It ain't got nothing to do with the dudes on the internet. That shit come from deep within, deep within, out in real life. That's what they bring into the internet.
Yeah, yeah. It's like if a dude told you to do push-ups and do 50 jumping jacks, 50 sit-ups, and that most likely you're gonna probably lose that jelly roll, or that stomach, or fast or change your diet, and that's gonna lose that jelly roll. You're gonna get slimmer. If you can't run or walk, people don't want to. People don't. They'll listen to that, but they ain't gonna want to do it. Most likely, a lot of people ain't gonna want to do it for whatever reason. And if you're telling people you should, stop going out and stop eating pretzels, sugar pretzels, and frosties and
Yeah,
honey
sugar
buns.
pretzels. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't like pretzels at all.
Yeah, I mean, if you tell people to basically you have to control your um, urges, basically, and then if you don't, this gonna happen, that gonna happen. You gonna probably trigger some people. It's like you're not fun. People a lot of times they come to the internet to have some escape. They're looking for an escape. They're not looking to improve. They're looking to run away from their problems.
That's
Not
why they got a
snacking
lot of
right.
channels that's like that. And you got some people that won't hold certain people accountable for certain things. So it's real easy, man, to
You
It's real easy to 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 have those kind of channels. You know, in particular, you know, some of the big names. I ain't gonna mention them because I don't talk about it. I said I won't address them. I won't ever address them again. This dude sitting around complaining all the time on the internet, causing problems on other people's channels and shit. And he's big, and nobody won't say, hey, man, you're wrong. They never say you're wrong until they end up crossing.
You talking about Angry Man?
You said it, I didn't.
You talking about Angry? You talking about Angry Man?
You said it, I didn't.
Man, you know, again, I gotta put my elite hat on, you know, put my crown on my head, you know. I ain't got no problems with Angry Man or anybody else or whatever.
I didn't have a problem with them either. But when you address me, you need to.
I really don't. I really don't care. What I'm saying is basically my channel is a economic improvement channel, but I do different things. But as far as like, you know, people rowing, you know, cussing people out and all of that, I mean, I don't necessarily you know, do that, because see, here's the thing: when I cuss you out, this is how I look at it. If I say you a bitch ass motherfucker, I'll whoop your ass. Well, I'm expected to. You probably, you know, you know, now I'm creating an enemy. Now it's somebody else extra to look out for. You know, that's how I look at it. I don't look at it like, you know, this just gonna stay on the internet. I mean, I'm from Chicago, like, you know, that stuff don't usually stay on the internet. So I'd rather just leave. I'll probably even let you say that, and then I'll just drop off, because see, here's the thing. You don't already, I gotta go in a few, but you don't already show, you don't already, one, show you got unchecked, you know, basically mental issues, most likely. Two, you that how can you progress if you have anger issues? So you're going to be limited to a certain degree and be put in the box with that. Three, shit, that shit'll make you sick. I mean, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of people are dying of heart attacks and strokes, as well as diabetes. And you know, when you driving up your fucking, you know what I'm saying, energy levels like that shit can affect you over time. You know, and at the end of the day, yeah, life is tough, man. I ain't gonna lie. Life is tough. Anger can be used as a weapon to a certain degree, but at the end of the day, anger can also destroy you. I'm a martial artist. I've studied jujitsu. If somebody is angry, they could be easily controlled. I mean, if somebody is truly angry, they can be easily controlled, because basically I can use your energy against you. You're gonna be riled up, and then basically all that energy is coming my way, and then I redirect it. And then you on the floor, and then, you know, you defenseless at that point, because your rage is uncontrolled. See, my rage is controlled. Like nobody will see, you know, basically I'll be calm and relaxed, kind of seem like I'm a lame, and then boom, I just knocked your fucking chin up and cracked your neck back, and you fell back just like that, because you didn't know that basically I have control rage, so you can't see it coming. I actually was angry, or I wasn't even angry, but I checked it just that quick by, you know, not showing you my emotions. If you know, one of the things, I'm kind of a gambler to a certain extent. I do know how to play poker, and one of the things you'll find about a poker player, right? Poker players, they wear sunglasses. because they do not want to show their emotions. If they even show any indication of body language, emotion, you can see their eyes and they get excited. That is to their deep disadvantage. So a lot of them have to wear deep tinted sunglasses because they cannot show any verbal emotions, any slight of they got a good hand or a bad hand. That is, that could cost them, dearly. And the same thing goes for lawyers. Lawyers have to be very cold, very controlled emotionally, and stuff like that. But I have to go, brother.
Okay.
I appreciate the conversation. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I gotta go clock in, man.
I know, man.
All right.
Look, go make them dollars. We'll talk. All right.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely.
The shit's chess, it ain't checkers.